just add something on?
Go, Courtney.
Look, he only spends like 3 hours at the gym because he talks the whole time. Like, it's not actually
I wasn't going to say anything.
Good call.
There's about 20 minutes worth of lifting, 2 hours of bantering and telling someone their shit, and then, I don't know, toilet for another 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah, she got upset now we're in prep and I've got serious again. I brushed her the other day in the gym. Did not hear the end of it.
Welcome to That BJ Show, episode 15. Fuck!
17.
I just had 15 in my head. I don't know why I fucking said that.
This is the first time we've fucked this up for a long time.
Usually pretty good.
I have that effect on people, normally women, but, you know.
Sean winked at me before and I'm all wet. So, all right, let me start again. All right, ready to go? Welcome to That BJ Show, episode 17.
17.
I'm Ben, and I'm going to introduce Jay today because his voice is a little raspy. I'm going to ask why. Go for it.
I'm Jay.
I'm Jay. Sexy, ladies and gentlemen.
Not sexy.
Not sexy enough.
Voice very croaky.
Yeah.
So,
but we will persevere.
I will.
With us today, Courtney and Shaun. Now, these two guests have a special connection to some of our past guests.
Yeah.
Okay, so Courtney obviously got a couple of shout outs from Benny the Barber in his episode. Owner, queen extraordinaire of Noir, the space. And Shawnee over here, actually Shawnee did pop on during Jara's episode, one of the earlier ones. You might have seen his handsome looking head walking in and out and like in the background sort of thing.
The walk of shame.
when he actually came into the shot.
He actually did, yeah.
Yeah.
And actually showed us his phone as well. I remember that. Yeah, go back and have a look at that.
Hashtag wifey, ho, water droplet.
Cat something or other,
Eggplant.
which I thought was really, really funny sort of thing. But I guess the reason why you two are here today is because we've actually had a few people ask for you two specifically because you both train out of Nexus Performance. So yeah, that was just cool that there was that connection between you guys and past guests, and you happen to sort of be here now. So having worked with these guys too, I can say these two are a hell of a hoot.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to chatting today, especially to Shawnee. Ask him about government, and we'll need an extra 3 hours, I think, just for that episode alone. But yes, welcome to episode 17, guys.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Hope you like our backdrop. Adding to it each new time.
You got rid of the cult-like vibe in here now.
Yeah.
Cult-like vibe.
It's still there a little bit, maybe just on that side
Up there.
of the camera.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So, Shaun, do you like long walks along the beach and stuff too at all? Or
No, not really.
no?
Yeah.
That's a form of cardio. This boy does not do that.
Yeah.
I like long sleep-ins in the bed.
Yeah.
Actually, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, speaking of cardio real quickly, what are we going to be talking about overall today, Benny?
So overall today is, I want to say it's almost going to be like a very training-orientated episode. So all of us here, especially these two guys over here, powerlifting out of Nexus Performance, they have had a couple of comps recently too. But in general, I think all of us to some degree have had other stimuluses in our life too that are outside of the powerlifting realm, whether it just be weight training, CrossFit. Shawnee, I've known from high school, footy player. He won't tell you he was anything, but I remember his name being brought up a lot.
Hopeless.
Yeah.
Hopeless.
Yeah.
Feet for hands.
Yeah. Well, how long you guys, so Shawnee, how long have you been in powerlifting?
I sort of roughly got into it when I was 35.
Yeah.
First year just trained and sort of tried to learn the craft, and I was 36 when I first competed.
Yeah.
And I've probably done maybe 7 or 8 comps by now.
Sweet, hey. The itch is still there.
No.
Oh, right.
The itch is there when someone calls my ego.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's when the itch gets there.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
If someone calls you weak or something, it's like, oh, mate, I got to prove you guys wrong now.
Well, I'm on the wrong side of 40 now, so I get a lot of, you're a never was, you're an old fat man now, so I feel like there's a bit of...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like there's a lot of trauma there. We'll get back to that soon.
Yeah.
No. Courtney, yourself?
Probably about 4 years, I guess.
Yeah.
After I decided CrossFit just wasn't for me, I wanted to do something a little less high cardioed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So you're in the powerlifting space specifically, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strictly.
Yeah.
I've done 2 GPC comps and 1 novice. That's about it. But I'm going to try and get my pro raw invite to get there.
And
Hell yeah.
most men will be very upset, but she benches 117
I was about to
kilos.
say, you got to actually add your total in there
Yeah.
too, because it is
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, I was chasing 500, but that wasn't where we were at last
It was
concert.
her second comp.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I've had a child in that time. Let's just.
Yeah, and
End of business.
we'll get yes, exactly. So
End of
there's like
business.
heaps of other stuff going on. So you're squat, bench, and dead, because probably at least 80% of guys I know still can't achieve that. So you lift more than 80% of guys I know, and that's not blowing smoke up your ass. That's true.
It's true.
Like whenever I was at that gym, I remember looking at the leaderboard, and I was like, "Fuck." Like that's some heavy.
This is why I had to come to Nexus
Yeah.
and strictly powerlifting because the world's boys just weren't my vibe.
Yeah. That's cool. Like Nexus is its own vibe in that way, sort of thing.
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
your totals across 3 lifts? This is kilos
My main
too.
total is 485, I believe. So my squat ended up being 185, bench 115,
Yeah.
and dead 185 with
Yeah.
room in the tank, but we played it safe.
Yeah.
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 That's kilos for everyone.
Yeah.
That's like that's phenomenal. But it's funny, like you might look at that and go, if you compare yourself to like the world of powerlifting, you might go, oh, I've got so much to go. But to 99% of the general population, even 99% of general gym goers who say they actively love weight training, that almost seems like miles ahead of anything, you know?
But look, if you look at my legs, it wouldn't tell you that they're pretty,
No.
pretty strong things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
It actually it helps as well that obviously both of you are a little. You're not short, but you're a lot shorter than us two specifically. And I would dare say that probably both of you would way be able to out deadlift us or squat both of our capabilities. I'm guessing.
I blame height for me.
So, yeah, I don't know. Some of the best deadlifters in the world are over 6 foot.
Yeah, really. You look at Thor.
Arm length.
You-
Yeah,
Thor's
Thor's like
Eddie.
6,
Yeah.
7 or something like that.
Yeah.
There's some young fella now. He's in the 110 kilo class.
Yeah.
I think he just squatted 430 and pulled 445 or something. I think he's from New Zealand, is he?
Yeah.
And he's
Wow.
a rather tall kind of lad. So even Ryan's 6'2",
Yeah. Shout out to Ryan Williams. If you guys don't know who Ryan Williams is,
probably one of Australia's best and long-lasting powerlifters.
yeah. Yeah. He's right here in Townsville too. I'd love to get him on one episode. Hey, I think Ryan's the sort of person you got to pair him up with someone, and Jay and I can probably leave and go have dinner and come back and they'll still be
Oh,
talking,
yeah.
sort
Yeah.
of thing.
He
So,
is, he is
I'm
a-
happy for that, mate.
Yeah.
I'll just hit record and I'll go.
He's a set killer. He is.
yeah,
You'll be halfway through your sets and
Yeah.
he'll come over talking and then you cool down. You're like, oh, I can
Yeah.
warm up again.
but it's like it's great. Like when I was working with you guys, I love my weight training, and if I look at anything that I would consider heavy and how strenuous. That was meant to be a word half
Similar.
between taxing and strenuous.
Similar.
So I've just made up a new word, strenuating.
You're welcome.
And then I look at like what I find heavy in some of my lifts, and I see guys doing like 100 kilos extra. I can't fathom reaching that levels of strength sometimes. No. So like being in that space, like seeing people train hard was such an eye opener for me, because in many commercial gyms, I feel the art of training hard isn't there anymore.
No.
Some people, yes. I guess it depends on what training means to them. Some people just like going in and moving around for like an hour, and that's cool, sort of thing.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you can even say that in bodybuilding. If you look at the bodybuilders of the 70s and the 80s,
Yeah.
their training was hard.
Yeah.
And now, well, I'm not saying the training's not hard, but there's a lot more drug use in their training.
Yeah.
So, and I personally don't think they look as good as what the Arnie era and all that was. So.
Yeah, well, I guess they're called the classic physique, like for nothing. You get, they had this sort of, it has lost its like, I'm just trying to think the way to say it.
It's a freak show now.
It is like there's just a lot of distended sort of limbs and bellies and just sort of things that have been taken, like I guess
Yeah.
a lot further for the pursuit of just becoming a freak. Like I think at some point it became less about aesthetics and just becoming as freaky as possible.
Yeah.
And that's when you get like you said, growth hormone bellies and stuff like that.
Dorian Yates from England he
Yeah.
was the first of those mass monsters.
Yeah.
That he just come on stage and he just blew everyone away with size.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then there was Ronnie Coleman. And,
All the other guys.
yeah, which Ronnie Coleman was a powerlifter too.
Yeah.
He was a very
Yeah.
good college powerlifter, yeah.
And like you said before, tall. I'm pretty sure he's quite.
Yeah. He'd have to be 6'3".
Yeah.
From watching his doc, because even he's lost like 5 inches and he's down to about 5'10" or something like that.
Yeah. Was that from his operation?
Yeah,
He had
yeah.
a couple of things fused in his back
So
or
that's
something, right?
similar to what Jara had. So I watched his documentary. So he squatted, I don't know what it was. It must have been 330 kilos for about 2 or 3 reps. And he actually front squatted it. That's right. And he said on the second rep, he felt that he felt a pop. And he just kept going. And that's just what caused all these issues from then on. Yeah.
It's like they had a reason for training, and that was just to be the world's best. And it's almost like if people were to say that these days, it's becoming far more unattainable because not everyone, but there's so many more people with that goal to like become the best.
And social media's killed it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think me and Jay, or Jay and I, if you want to be fully correct with the English, Jay and I seem to go on a rant a lot about social media, or at least not. Jay and I will go on a rant. Like someone will go on a rant about how social media fucks up either like our perceptions of each other, relationships, whatever the case may be. Yeah. So it's just another, There was no social media back then.
No, and it gives a lot of unskilled, unworthy people attention.
Yeah.
Or, access to attention.
Yeah. A platform that they can just spread misinformation and stuff like that.
I'm probably one of those people, so.
No, I don't think so. Courtney.
Welcome to the podcast.
Courtney gave this eye roll oh, fuck.
Funnily enough, we are actually on social media. So.
Yeah. Spreading bullshit. No, we're not really.
More bullshit, yeah.
We're here for the bullshit purely sort of
I
thing.
can dribble too, don't you, Aaron?
Yeah. Like if you were to say what training means to you then, or why do you train? And has that answer changed the older you get?
Yeah. When I was younger, I originally got thrown in the gym because obviously I played football. I was very small. I was like 14, 15. I was half the size of the other kids. And then a coach got me involved, and so it was all about putting on size. I remember going to school and drinking 2 litres of milk and eating a loaf of bread every day to try and put on weight. Yeah. And then I guess playing football was just to try and keep strong and keep size on. And then, once I stopped playing football, I really there's something wrong in my head that I need competition. Yeah. And without competition, I go a bit wayward. Yeah. And I went to a powerlifting gym, or it's called Muscle Hut on the sunny coast. Yeah. A lot of strong men, a lot of strong people, and I was hooked.
Yeah. Because of the constant competition around you.
Yeah. I got amongst it.
Yeah.
But sorry, and you said as well that was sort of around that
35 when I started, yeah. So I stopped playing football when I was 30, 31. I had 7 months of injuries. I played like 3 games my last year. Yeah. And then I just sort of got in the gym. I got the 6-pack. I lost all the weight. Well, not weight, but I got really strong. But, it just wasn't cutting the mustard. I just didn't.
Yeah.
And then, now I'm fat and strong now. So.
Fuck yeah.
Loves his food.
Yeah.
Where are you, Courtney?
I'm completely different to what I used to be. I still am thriving to be, what's the word? Jack's looking, I guess. I don't like being like all the other basic gals to be looked at. I like to be able to go out and people be like, holy Jesus, she's big. Yeah. But that obviously changed a lot once I had children. Like things had to take a step back on the supplement side.
When like wanting to be jacked, it's because that it's now attainable for women to do so, that it's becoming almost more acceptable and people are open to the thought of doing that. Yeah. Like I think it was one of our other episodes, it was, your standard, and Shawnee will probably remember this from say 15, 20 years ago. Back then it was like, I don't want to go to the gym because I don't want to get bulky. I just want to tone sort of thing.
Oh, look, I feel like there's a lot of women still that get scared of doing weightlifting because they think they're going to end up with someone with big traps and big shoulders. But then there's that circle of us women that thrive off that. Yeah. And then we get paid out by those skinny little boys that don't actually lift and say, you look like a man. Yeah. But
it's stupid.
Really care.
It actually goes along that same line of Jara's episode when we spoke about how she was thrown in the ringer for all of her tattoos and the way she looks and everything.
And she's very muscular too.
Yeah. And so she was thrown in the ringer for just the way that she looks, and just the way that you look like shouldn't determine, like people shouldn't determine you as a certain, dislike of body image because they don't like it. They can get over the fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Just to put it politely.
Yeah. It's like you'll find the guys that do that and probably can't.
But that's society nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah,
though that
strange.
the second they look at you, they make their first judgment and they think that you're an utter bitch or a troll or something.
Yeah.
But until they know you, they don't really.
I still think that about you, but
Yeah.
we're mates. So.
Yeah. It's just like you can think about it, but then you know you and you can actually say, yeah, it's all true.
Jesus.
No, I'm kidding. I know her, so I can throw a bit of bit. Like, I'm not just harassing a guest that came on, sort of thing.
Well, you are.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But you know us, so it's okay.
Yeah, Cuts and Courtney's just left. No
offense taken.
Yeah. But no, like it's good. Like I think being in the environment where you can see women train just as hard as men sometimes is awesome to see.
Yeah.
It's no longer depending on where you go, I guess, but it's no longer about girls rocking up in like skimpy outfits, following an Instagram influencer, going through just an exercise program where it's like, we're going to do high reps to tone because the moment you touch a heavy weight, you're going to put on all this muscle. And it's good.
I wish it was that easy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, imagine if you could just like do a couple of weeks of gym at a certain rep range or something and automatically put on 5 kilos. I swear that's what a lot of people thought back in the day.
Or in the opposite perspective, for someone like me who has a little bit of extra chub around everywhere for the last 6 months, if I could go to gym for 6 weeks straight and then just lose shit tons of fat from fuck all work, from just picking up some weights, fuck, I would do that. 100%.
Yeah. No, 100%.
I mean, I know that's how it does work, but
oh yeah, right, yeah. Plus, take a fat burner and it will be good, right?
But I mean, in the perspective of like when they say that, if a girl is going to work out and just do mainly high cardio and high reps and then lower weight, but then if they're going to say that if you're going to go onto the higher weight stuff, you're going to instantly gain all that muscle. It doesn't work that way. And fat doesn't burn that quickly like that either.
Just look at the Olympics, the difference between a long distance runner and a sprinter.
Yeah.
That's comparing cardio, low calories to, eating high calories, training heavy.
Yeah. I remember even at one point, like I want to say around 15 years ago, you had people that were trying to convince everyone that higher rep ranges, because it burns a little more because of the lactic acid generation, means you're burning more fat on your body. So if you want to be weight loss, just do something that gets lactic acid generation.
Yep.
It's like, no, like you got 20% of the actual puzzle there, sort of thing.
Yeah. But it's always evolving. That's, what they're talking about now in 10 years' time will probably be false again. And
But I mean, like the basics have been there for 40, 50, 60 years and they're still there.
Yeah.
It's just because it's not flashy anymore.
Yeah, and that's what powerlifting's about.
Yes,
anyone that thinks you're going to come to powerlifting, you're going to max out every day, you're going to do this. It's not. It is following probably 4 exercises at a certain rep range between 3s to 8s or 10s religiously.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing day in, day out. And at the end of the day, powerlifting is a sport. So you bench, you squat, and you deadlift. They're a skill lift.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And like, over the years, I've always heard people say if they could only do 3 lifts for the rest of their life, it would be those 3.
Deadlift gets a bit of a bad rap, especially in the sporting arena. Like a lot of people won't do it because it is a very technical lift and you can do damage. But squat and bench for sure.
Yeah.
You'll find in most whatever athletic, like rugby league, whatever, soccer, they will do a bench and a squat.
Yeah.
Whether it be a box squat or something.
Yeah. When you were doing footy in school, because people might remember from previous episodes, I hated sport when I was a kid, so I never did anything, which is funny because I went to Iggy Park, same as you sort of thing. Yeah. Loathed anything physical. I was a fat kid.
Also opposite, I loathed anything in a classroom.
Yeah, so we've trying to change now. One of us was ripped back then, one of us is ripped now. And
no. Yeah,
100%. But I never got into the footy, so I wasn't exposed to the training that young people got back in the day. Was it similar to some of the principles that are still around these days with adults?
Look, when we got into it, it was it was more like a bodybuilding routine.
Yeah.
Which rugby league, the way they train, strength now is different.
Yeah.
It's a cross between Olympic lifting, CrossFit, and powerlifting.
Really? They do Olympic lifting and footy training?
They do a lot of the snatches and cleans. And, because it's a power-based exercise.
Yeah.
So your reps of 8 to 15 bench press and that.
Yeah.
No, not anymore.
Yeah.
They do deadlift, they do box squats, a lot of the snatch and clean and press or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
A lot of those power exercises they do now.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. I like it that we're stepping away from powerlifting a bit, that if you would look at CrossFit and they've incorporated a lot of Olympic lifts in there, that there's a place for that too in athleticism. I mean, it's no secret. I love CrossFit. CrossFit gets a bad rap. I guess any sport to some degree gets a bad rap. I'll always stand by it. I love it. It's my thing as much as other things are too.
Yeah.
And done wrong, it can cause a lot of harm. But any movement in any, you know what I mean, done wrong can that. If you sprint wrong, you can blow a hemi out. If you do a snatch wrong, you can tear a shoulder. You know what I mean, sort of thing. So it's someone said to me, "There's no look." And I guess this saying's sort of quite loosely, but there's almost no such thing as a bad exercise. It's just bad instruction on how to do it.
Or perform badly.
Or perform badly, which I mean, some exercises are kind of shonky depending on what ones you're doing anyway. Yeah. But for the most of it, your general exercises, even some of the more advanced Olympic ones, like you might see in a CrossFit box or just in a weightlifting sort of environment.
But that's the problem, right? So Olympic lifting, it's a specialty exercise.
Yes.
And those blokes practice that for hours and hours for one rep.
Yeah.
You guys go through it in a CrossFit and try and do 35,000 reps.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that they've always said, some of the workouts, high reps, technical movements.
Yeah, I guess that's not that I'm the world's smartest bloke, I'm far from it.
Yeah.
But when you see stuff like that, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. That's one of the things that CrossFit's always sort of had slammed about them. And yeah, true. There are some workouts in CrossFit that I look at and go, I'm going to be fucking sore tomorrow.
Yeah.
My lower back is going to be jacked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I guess the more you put a competition element on it where you've got to go fast, the more element for it, for injury there is, sort of thing. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess, knowing the sport too will certainly help too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, absolutely. I've seen some terrible CrossFit. I actually loved CrossFit fails. That's coming from a CrossFitter. I love watching CrossFit fails, just looking at it going, holy shit. Courtney's smiling over there. You've seen some of them too. Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some of those benchmark workouts are just high rep technical movements. And it's as if you start at A and end at B, it's how you got there in some boxes in some competitions are Yeah. Whereas from what I understand, powerlifting, you got certain things you got to abide by every single path of that. Yep. Of the bar movement or whatever.
There's certain commands, there's certain pauses, certain depths.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's part of why I, in some degree, never fully got into CrossFit comps because of my bodybuilding background, and I even had a CrossFit coach say to me once, "It's you control your reps too much." Yeah, because I was too slow. Because I focused on eccentrics and lowering stuff.
And not tearing
under
muscles.
tension, He said, you lower the bar too slow. You're not fast enough, and I just could never get into just throwing a weight around. Yeah, especially as you get older.
Oh yeah.
So I guess that's one thing I've had to change my own training. When you're young, you kind of feel like you can put your body under a bit of stress, but as you get older, niggles get there more and more. And I'm lucky I haven't had any really bad injuries. All my injuries came from martial arts more so than throwing around Olympic lifts sort of thing. Yeah. But I've had to change that over time as well.
Oh, yeah, because your body ages.
Oh, yeah. 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 What about you, Shawnee? You got any?
I can't run anymore because I've torn my left calf 3 times this year already, just jogging. Well, that could be because I'm 125 kilos.
All right, no need to brag.
At 2'2" height. But
straight muscle. I mean, here I am sitting 135. 6'3".
There's no straight muscle here. With, power belly.
Well, that's Courtney. Before, when you were saying you went to powerlifting because it was a little less strenuous, did you really suffer anything from CrossFit days?
Not so much. It was more the hand reps and stuff. Obviously, being a hairdresser, your hands get a bit tender. But other than that, No, it was just more like I think I copped a few migraines and stuff and I put it down from the burpees. It had nothing to do with the burpees. I just didn't like it. Yeah. It was just too fast paced, I guess. Yeah. And obviously having a sister that owned the box, I was forced a lot. So I kind of got turned off that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But I definitely have had lots of thought about going back. But
I actually have had this conversation with
I'm definitely
I'm
determined.
going to actually drag her along one day back to...
I've been. The one time I decided to go back, we had to row solid 20 minutes straight. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but...
Yeah.
Like a hard row or...
I think, what was it?
Or was it like an interval sort of...
Just strict 20 minutes you had to row for and you had to keep the same pace. I think our cap was to try and get 5 kilometres.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I mean...
So just a nice engine piece sort of thing. Actually, I'd love to get Corey on a podcast.
Yeah,
Dialogue. Yeah. Dialogue's a really fantastic box to go to. I'd love to get Corey on.
Very friendly.
But it's funny, like one of those things. And again, like going back to social media and just how things are perceived these days. Like the moment you say CrossFit to someone, it's automatically a cult. The moment you say powerlifting to someone, they're like, fucking unfit people, like there's always someone there that'll like, you know what I mean? Bodybuilders, useless steroid meatheads. Like every outlet that people have to make themselves feel better has like this bunch of people that just want to tear it down too. And look, some of it's warranted. Don't get me wrong. In every sport, there's your stereotypical reason why there's the bad rep about it, sort of thing.
But I think when it comes back to CrossFit, though, there was like 3 or 4 of the most famous fit gals that came neck and neck with each other, being a bodybuilder, powerlifter, CrossFitter and an Ollie lifter.
Yeah.
And the CrossFitter outdid everyone on the heaviest deadlift and all of that, which was super cool.
Isn't Tina, what's the Aussie bird that wins?
Dana Lynn Bailey?
No, the Aussie CrossFitter.
Oh, Tia Toomey.
Yeah, isn't she an Ollie lifter from back in the day? I thought she went to the Olympics as an Ollie lifter.
Shit, actually.
I mean, I follow her, but not that much.
I feel like I should know this. I know she's somewhat local to Queensland, right? In Gladstone?
Yeah, something
went to school in Weeper, I believe.
I'm positive
somewhere around.
she went to the Olympics as an Ollie lifter.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That actually reminds me, though, talking about, the different types of working out. Have you seen Physical 100? You haven't seen it? Shit, you need to. So I don't know if it's still on Netflix or not, but it was a show on Netflix for a while, based in Japan, and they basically got 100. I've spoken about it on the podcast.
Yeah, I remember
before.
this. Yeah,
but basically, they start off with 100 people, all from different types of working out routines, whether they're Olympic winners, powerlifters. I think there's some sumo wrestlers, deadlifters, athlete runners. All the different types of different athletes, and they start from 100 and they have to eliminate them right back down to the top 100. Like
it'd be CrossFitters.
So I think a CrossFitter was definitely in the top 3. Yeah.
What is have you ever seen the show Eastbound and Down, Kenny Powers?
Yeah.
Why do I want to be the best at exercising?
Yeah.
Like, that's his slogan. Like that's what CrossFit is. It is every sort of different exercise into one. It makes sense that they are better at everything.
Yeah. But. And like arguably that too, you could say, are they like, what is it, jack of all trades, masters of none? I recall seeing, I'm pretty sure it was Eddie Hall do a CrossFit workout. It might have been like Grace, like 30 clean and jerks for time. And he just did everything unbroken. And so there was the whole movement of like powerlifters and strongman going, yeah, we fucking shit all over CrossFitters. But it's like, but it's a strength-based movement. Like, you get a barbell movement and then pair it with a 1K run. And you get Eddie Hall to do that. It's like, you know what I mean? Is it going to end up he's victorious as well? Or is he going to get 100 meters and potentially do a Shaun?
Have a heart attack. Did you see Eddie Hall fight the 2 midgets in the UFC? Oh my God. He knocked that midget into next year.
Did you not see it, Courtney?
I did not see it.
Oh, mate. Didn't he pick one of them up and almost body slammed him?
He picked one up and smashed him on the ground. That one rolled over and he grabbed the other one. And the one that got hammered got up and he just right hooked him. The dude's eyes, he was asleep with his eyes open before he hit the floor. I've seen it where they slowed it down. He's laying on the floor and his eyes are open. I thought he was dead. It was.
Oh, man.
It was fucked.
Yeah.
And let's not, Eddie Hall was the first person to break 500 kilos on a deadlift.
Yeah.
And in competition.
Yeah.
And I think the previous biggest deadlift prior to Eddie Hall was like 460.
Yeah.
So he broke it by a lot and in a competition, like a proper comp. So
who got 501 then?
It doesn't count.
Thor.
Yeah, just to beat it by one. Yeah.
A, it wasn't in comp, and B, he did it in his gym. Like, I get it. It was 501 kilos. He did it. I understand. But to me, it's a gym lift. Eddie Hall did it at, was it Giants Live in Sydney or somewhere?
Yeah.
Like, did it in an actual comp. So,
Yeah.
I'm a stickler for rules.
And that's good. That's like, there needs to be more people that do that, I think, you know what I mean? Because anyone can film themselves doing whatever the fuck.
There's been a heap of powerlifters like sumo guys pull 505 and 5'6", but again, it's sumo, so it's gay, but whatever.
Yeah. And that's a constant joke within the powerlifting
that is
sumo versus conventional.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. What do you prefer, Courtney?
I don't really actually know how to do sumo, so
I actually struggle to it too.
Conventional.
I know a few people that will always do a sumo, but I always struggled to the point where I literally just gave up trying. I was like, fuck this, back to conventional.
Sumo definitely seems so much easier, but I definitely feel like it's got a little bit more in thought process. That's why so many people think that you need to do conventional, nail that first, and then you do sumo if you were to change it up.
Yeah.
I think you can carry a load a lot more in a sumo than you can conventional.
Yeah.
But a tall person definitely doesn't do well in a conventional, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's why I trained RDLs so much as well.
Yeah.
Just to get that retention in the back.
Big booty.
Yeah. Oh, they're a fantastic accessory exercise. I don't know many coaches who wouldn't program an RDL of some degree in there.
Actually, my coach has just introduced me to something worse than that. It is a stiff-legged box RDL.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like a assault bike or a rower or something.
Oh, yeah.
He probably needs to program some of that. But
He does. He does.
What is it again?
A stiff-legged box RDL.
So you're standing on the box, and
No. So it's like a what do you call it? Like a box, like a box deadlift. You know when you got the weights up on the box. What's that called?
Like a rack pull.
Like a rack pull or a box pull.
Okay.
But it's a stiff-legged like RDL off a box.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, so there's like less range of, like, is it just focusing on the top lockout portion?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Because I can pull anything to my knees.
Yeah.
Past my knees. It's like someone throws a handbrake on. And
See, actually, what I loved about powerlifting comps too is that the hitching is not, like when you see all these gym fails of like young dudes getting it to their knees and then just looking like a dog taking a shit. And like the hitching, like, is it hitching or hinching?
Hitching.
One of those two.
I've heard it being called lapping as well.
Yeah. I actually love that there's like, no, that's a no-go sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's like getting from A to B, but with rules within that. And that goes back to like some CrossFit.
Yeah.
You don't. As long as you get to A to B in some comps, it's allowed.
If deadlift only comps, you're allowed to do it.
Yeah.
When we went up to Cairns and did a deadlift up there on the Esplanade, and there were some guys that were nearly falling over backwards because they were hitching that bag. But they counted. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's to a degree though, right? Like I feel like if they're like constantly going like this, the bar's kind of like moving back down at the same time. So
Which, is against in 3 lift that the bar movement, the same with the squat and the bench, you cannot have down movement once you've started the up movement.
Yeah. When you first started training, and I'll ask both of you guys too. Who wants to go first? Well, ladies.
Maybe you should have a sip of water.
Yeah.
Your throat a bit sore?
Talking too much.
Well, I'll ask the question and either one of you can jump in, but when you first started training at all in your life, doesn't have to be powerlifting or whatever, when was it and why? Shaun's handballed it over to Courtney. Courtney's looking, might serve it back to him.
I started in 2014 when I moved here.
Yeah.
And I went to good old Muscle and Fitness.
Yeah, boy. The OG.
Just hypertrophy sort of stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I tried CrossFit from there, and then,
Yeah.
I was 14, so that would have been like 96.
You don't have to
97.
disclose your age.
I'm 40, ladies and gentlemen. I'm old. So I was within about 14, 96. And our football coach got me into it because he goes, you play like an idiot. You're going to kill yourself. You need to put some size on.
Hold on. Yeah. You were reckless on the footy field.
Oh, I just got no brains, eh?
Not much has changed.
Head first and everything, eh?
Yeah. But I remember you from high school. Again, I was the kid that hated everything. So I remembered all the footy players for some reason. I don't actually know why.
No, I don't think I was a jock or I was friends with everyone.
You were. From what I remember. And I hadn't seen you for many, many years. And when I heard your name again, like back at the gym, I was like, wait.
You expect this long, blonde, wavy hair. Rock this bald, cut it up, 40-year-old.
Yeah, looking like Shrek.
Please, thanks for that,
yeah. How do you think your training mindset has changed over the years? Whether it be due to the older you get, other things in life, kids or families or whatever the case may be?
Powerlifting definitely changed.
Yeah.
The way I train, I'm more regimented. I can stick to a program now.
Yeah.
Could never do that before. And when you got certain goals in your mind, it makes things easy. Like today I knew what weight and what rep range I had to do when I got there. I didn't hit it, but I knew where I was at. I'll go back tomorrow, Saturday, and do it again.
Yeah.
And then, family's a killer. Like I got 4,000 kids and a mortgage and a job and makes it hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. Well, we had a quote in Jara's episode, small house, big home.
Yeah.
Lots of kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got 5 kids, 5 dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a just under 1,000 square metre block in Currajong. So you make time. Like in the off season when I'm doing like my accessories and that, I'll get up at 4:30 and go train at Strand.
Yeah.
Can't really do that at Strand. Obviously, once the weight starts getting up, the bars aren't quite up to scratch.
Yeah.
There. So you're gonna we go back to Nexus and use all the proper powerlifting gear.
Yeah.
And look, when we're mid comp or mid prep for a comp, a squat session can go for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Your warm up to get to some of the weights can be an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So
it's a big chunk of the day. If you were to look at, say, yourself at 18, going to the gym for aesthetic reasons, stubborn reasons.
I didn't train my upper body till I was 28 when I broke my arm. I didn't train my lower body.
I was about to say you were the opposite of the gym. Every day is lower day. Yeah.
What are legs for?
The happiness you got then from training. Sorry, I'm just thinking how to reword the rest of this question. Would you say when you get like families and partners and stuff, the happiness gets transferred over to them, so the need to train to get happy decreases over time? Like you're happy and comfortable. Or would you say the hunger to keep training is just something that's there, almost like a therapy that you need every day?
The hunger is to, like when I first got into powerlifting, I gave myself 3 numbers I wanted to hit through my squat, bench and dead. The only one I haven't hit is deadlift yet. So the hunger, the ego to be the best I can, because I'm never going to be number 1 in the world, never. So the best I can be and hit the numbers I want to do is a driving factor.
Yeah.
I guess the dedication part, is the main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like no one wants to step under a bar with 320 kilos on it. Like you got to be insane to do it. And I'm not even that good of a squatter. Like look at Ryan, he squats 410 kilos. Who wants to step under a bar with 410 kilos? No one.
Yeah.
But there's something in your head that says,
all
right, idiot, let's go do this.
Like a personal challenge.
Yeah. So what, if you don't mind us asking, what are your goal numbers for the 3?
You first.
Well,
originally it was 300 squat, 200 bench, 300 deadlift. So far I've got 320 squat, 205 bench and a 290 deadlift.
Yeah.
So I think nationals in August. Depending on it, when I hit those numbers last year through Pro Raw and that, I was training, I was hard training, but then obviously I took a job over in WA in the mines, training become a bit harder. Then I'm in the mines again now, but I'm not on a roster like that. So training's come good again. So I'm hoping for national somewhere around 330, 340 squat.
Yeah.
210 to 215 bench and hopefully a 300 deadlift.
Yeah.
Courtney?
Comp numbers?
No, the question. The question before.
I guess I've always been one to, since having a good somewhat physique, always wanted to keep it.
Yeah.
So even with meeting partners or current husband
is
Shout out to Staffy,
Yeah.
too, by the way.
G'day, homie.
Yeah.
I've never stopped pushing it. Even through pregnancy, I trained all the time. I obviously took a step back from powerlifting whilst I did that, but I still trained up until the day I went into hospital for that. But yeah, wow. I enjoy training. That's I think awesome. It's a major mental game for me. Even when we go on holidays for a week and there's no gym around, it definitely gets you.
Yeah.
Pretty mental, but it's nice to have a break at times. I think your body needs that, but yeah, definitely.
I just love it how Meadow, your daughter's like part of the furniture at Nexus.
Well, I've had no choice. She's had to come to the gym with me since she was like maybe 4 to 6 weeks old.
Yeah.
And she's grown up there now, so she's pretty good besides drawing with chalk everywhere. She does clean it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
She loves it.
It's awesome. It's like,
I think it's super important to be able to teach your children that instead of just dumping them in a creation, like kudos to the parents that do that. I mentally cannot do that.
Yeah.
I think it's important that she sees that fitness is important.
Yeah.
Part of a daily routine.
Yeah.
Whether she chooses to do powerlifting or just gymnastics or something, it's great that she's doing a sport and keeping you fit and active.
Yeah.
And not sitting on a TV screen.
Yeah. 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 Actually, that's actually like interesting too, because I think about all the times I remember seeing her at the gym, I've rarely, if ever, seen her on a phone or technology.
It's rare. And I mean, we definitely, I never wanted to be that parent that puts technology in front of a kid, but holy Jesus, it's very important to have it at times. But we do it in the car, and when I get to the gym, I have it there as an option, but she chooses just to run free and do her own thing, which is so great.
Yeah, that is good. And interact with everybody.
Oh,
like
she loves
that's
everyone
what I
there
understand.
now.
Like, like she's not shy. Like she's just happy to go around and meet people. And that's really cool.
That can be bad in some circumstances at shopping centres and stuff, but in a gym where we know everyone, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah,
she's the opposite to you.
You can backhand him if you want. We can edit it out, or we can leave it there as the main attraction of the episode. Just Shaun getting a black eye.
Wouldn't be me first, but it won't be me last.
No. I had a question. As you get older, do you think your shift will go less from training and more into other elements of family?
I was going to ask the same
because I guess like for me, I couldn't answer that because I don't have kids or anything. So I for as long as I can see now, I'll still be training, which might change one day. But
no, I can't see my relationship with training changing. The style of training I'm doing is definitely going to change very soon. Come from a athletic background where I could run, jump, do all those things to being now where I get out of breath talking, I get out of breath walking.
Yeah.
It's not anyone that thinks they're going to go into powerlifting and you're going to be satisfied with it in a certain number or be in a certain weight, you're kidding yourself.
Yeah.
If you're competitive and you start to get best of that category, there will come a size change as well. It's like I was 105 kilos when I started this 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm now 124 and I've been heavier.
So with your injuries, if you were physically able to, would you still be doing other elements of fitness? Or like you've found your niche in powerlifting?
I think I found my niche.
Yeah.
I got to a stage with footy where I just got injured all the time.
Yeah.
My last year, I broke my foot, was in a moon boot 2 months. I broke my arm, was in a cast for 3.5 months. First came back, tore my meniscus.
Yeah.
Had to get a needle to play the grand final. I never played again after that. And I was like,
yeah. I know a lot of guys and girls that have irreversible injuries from things like CrossFit, or at least something that constantly flares up to the point where they can't do it because they can realize it's an injury waiting to happen. Yeah. Which kind of sucks. Like, I guess if you've really found something you're passionate about and you have to give it up for whatever reason, you know what I mean, others just know it's not for them. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. It all depends on your mindset.
Yeah.
I mean, my mindset, it's not my mindset. I just can't help it. If I'm not competing in something, my life gets turned upside down. I do stupid shit. Yeah. And at least this is an outlet for my ego.
Yeah. And that's fair. I think I was talking to someone recently and they said everyone has to have an ego in order to, I don't want to say like be happy in life, but I guess succeed in areas, even if it's the tiniest bit, because you need something to give yourself a push.
Oh, you got to keep it in check, mate.
You know what I mean?
Can ruin you.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. I've seen many characters, like people destroy their own characters through ego, and it's irreversible. Oh, I think very highly of you.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, like that comes with getting older. Like I've done some dumb shit in my life, and I can, I look back at it and go, "Fuck."
My early
you learn from it.
Was a very hard learning life lesson for myself.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But that would transfer over to a lot of other things in life too, right? Like even, if you're genuinely really passionate about something, you say it's ego, but it's also like, you want to be confident in saying, I did my best at that. It's real. Like I'm really happy with the outcome of that situation. Wouldn't you agree? Like even with this podcast, like we have a certain standard that we want to hit with the podcast.
Yeah.
And
we're
if we
scraping the bottom of the barrel with guests like Shaun, but we were desperate.
Sometimes
below the barrel.
And sometimes when we don't hit it, we're a little bit upset with ourselves.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
No, but you're right. Like we have to be happy with what we do, even for this. And if there's something we don't like, we'll chat and go, man, next time not that we've ever really, I don't think we've ever really had to have a convo where like we need to do better, but we both sort of know in which, and that's just because we want to be good podcast hosts, and you know what I mean? Like there's that element of we need to have a standard. It's not necessarily an ego. We don't certainly think we're going to be hosting the Emmys or anytime soon as like hosts or anything, but there's a standard that is fueled by like the tiniest bit of ego, but it's more so just comes from a place of wanting the best.
Have you gone back and watched your first couple episodes?
I think Jay did that just recently. You were saying you did that.
I've rewatched all of our episodes at least probably 3 or 4 times the whole way through.
Do you feel you're progressing? Like you're getting better and better?
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I sent him a message and I'm like, you have got to go back and watch episode 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. They are shithouse. But they still represent who we are. Yeah. But the quality was way different.
Yeah.
In visual and in audio quality. Obviously my voice is really good right now.
Yeah.
So
But no, 100%. I went back after we said that, and I was incredibly happy with what we did, but it was good to see that we've grown from that.
Yeah.
But if you go back and look at, Joe Rogan podcast, if you go back and look at his first couple of episodes, he's doing it via webcam in his garage or something, dude. Like it looks like something you'd see in the early 2000s, even earlier. Like, it looks shit and budgety. And arguably now, I think at one point it was the best podcast. It was the highest rated podcast in the world at some point.
Joe Rogan is the number 1 podcast in the world
Joe
still.
Rogan also had a head start. He was the host of Fear Factor.
Yeah.
He was the UFC caller. He did have a bit of a leg up.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah. No, so there's that standard that, Yeah. And that's not an invitation for everyone to go back early and make fun of us.
By all means.
By all means, go for it. Because I think the quality is still...
By all means,
the quality is still there.
Go back and watch through all of them and keep racking up our watch hours.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Yeah. But even taking this back to powerlifting as well, you say you kind of in it for like you have a little bit of that ego. For you, Shawnee, Courtney, I'll come over to you in a minute, but like even, you said you can't see yourself going away from your workout routine. But it's like interesting. So because your ego kind of fuels your want to do the powerlifting, like do you ever see yourself even coming back from that to even just like basic movements?
Yeah. Like soon.
Yeah, soon.
Yeah. It's a hard sport. It's hard on your body.
Yeah.
I'm 40, so I'm getting old. I understand that. The lifting heavy, that's probably, it's the aftermath, like the nervous system shut down and you don't really get sore muscles, but the not being able to walk upstairs, the not being able to run 400 meters without tearing my calf, that sort of shit is... I think I'll always sort of stick to the basic squat, bench, dead, but as much as I hate to say it, CrossFit is looking rather good.
Yeah, like the other thing too is...
Wait, say that again?
I have done CrossFit before too. There you are.
Yes, yeah. Continue, Jay. I just had to...
No, that's good. Good call. So for us three here, excluding Benny, we all have kids, right? And so for you guys specifically, if you're going to keep in powerlifting, obviously as Shawnee, you're going to go into more of the CrossFit style of workout regime again. Like cutting back from however many hours you spend a day at the moment back to something more simple, like does that actually more entice you because you can spend more time with your family?
Or? That's a good question, man.
Can I just add something though?
Go, Courtney.
Look, he only spends like 3 hours at the gym because he talks the whole time. Like, it's not actually
I wasn't going to say anything.
Good call.
There's about 20 minutes worth of lifting, 2 hours of bantering and telling someone their shit, and then, I don't know, toilet for another 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah, she got upset now we're in prep and I've got serious again. I brushed her the other day in the gym. Did not hear the end of it.
Everyone literally says, "Hey, Meadow, how are you?" And they completely ignore me. Like, I am non-existent there. So,
wow.
You're zoned in though. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even going away from Shawnee for a second, Courtney, how do you feel? How old is Meadow at the moment?
Meadow's 2 in August.
Yep.
So she's nearly at her toddler age where things are getting pretty hectic. But, I mean, I started training when she was in a pram, so that was pretty easy to train with. And then when she started to walk, training got a little bit hectic and teaching her not to get under barbells and things like that. But now she's at the age where she kind of does her thing, and actually everyone else in the gym is paying attention to my daughter, so I get a full session to myself, which is great.
Wow.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
But it's definitely hard, but I still don't think, like, I've gone from training 5 days a week, and if like one of my coaches that I was with at the time cut me to 4 because muscle needs good recovery time, I felt guilty, so I'd sneak in that 5th session, and now I'm down to 3 days, and I'm struggling to get that 3rd day in even now. But it's more like
you're stronger than you've ever been as well, which also plays
I've got the strongest coach in the world currently for her lifts. So Sarah Rainbow is an absolute legend.
Rainbow Strong? Yeah, that's it. Go give
Rainbow
him a follow.
Strong.
Go give her a follow.
She is
nice.
Yeah, I did see her train when she was up in Townsville about a month or 2 ago, whenever that was.
May, right?
And
and it was phenomenal.
No ego.
No,
at all.
Friendly as hell.
No, yeah.
The most
which is super rare.
Yeah. Oh, I find in powerlifting the camaraderie and the support. Obviously, there is ego there, but it's very few and far between.
Yeah.
Like most powerlifters, like when I went to Pro Raw, that's the best in Australia. And somehow I got a token invite. I don't know how I got there, but
sympathy invite, I think. But yeah, go for it. Yeah.
I tend to think that was it. Like,
he hasn't been invited since. So
no,
definitely.
I haven't. So,
what did you do?
Exactly. I didn't perform. Yeah. But they were the strongest people in Australia, and they were all so welcoming, so friendly, supportive.
But no like competition so much in the way that you're not going to talk to this person because you're going to win. Like even the person that was above you was still cheering you on, which is great to see.
Yeah.
And see, I'll probably go on record to say I don't really see a lot of that in CrossFit these days.
Or bodybuilding.
People are arrogant, dude.
Yeah, man. When I was training at Muscle Up, there was a big strongman powerlifting and bodybuilding section, and we'd go support the bodybuilders, and just the cattiness, even men. Like it was like, dude, like you're tanned up in a G-string for like some novice comp, don't be a dickhead.
Yeah.
But they...
Yeah. And if they're in the board short category, it's even further. But no, it's true. Like, some of the camaraderie in, like, because the thing is, without everyone participating in that sport, you don't have a sport. You know what I mean? If there weren't a heap of CrossFit gyms around Townsville, there wouldn't be local comps to go to. So you sort of got to remember, everyone has to work together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can use each other for like friendly fuel to make yourself, if you're just being a total
there's
dick.
Always going to be a person that's better than you. It's just the attitude you put towards it. I don't feel like you need to have such negativity towards anything like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, like you were saying before, Shaun, I can't remember if it was off camera or whether we actually did it on camera. When you were once the strongest in a gym you're at, go to a gym where there's like everyone's a powerlifter, and when you see yourself as one of the weakest there, then you're like, oh shit, it's time to get to work.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's a humbling experience.
That was the most strength growth I've ever had in the sport. Like that first 12 months, I went from barely squatting 180 kilos to like squatting 280 in a matter of 8 months. And that was pure and simply because everyone was stronger than me.
Yeah.
And I just competed and competed.
Yeah.
I was working FIFO, so the 2 weeks I was back, I just train.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's actually really similar to like any profession, actually, if you think about it, of like, you know, if you obviously you can't just say that people are the best and the worst and all that sort of stuff. But let's be honest, if we're real with ourselves, we can say that obviously some people are more competent than others. Say, for example, in my photography realm, I've had quite a few people along the way who come to me and they say, holy shit, your work is fucking incredible. Or I'll go to other people and be like, holy shit, your work is incredible. Can I learn from it? And they'll come to me, the people who are less competent than me, then come to me. And it comes back to that same thing you just said then, like, you know, you were in the comp after comp, you know, or you're training and training and training and training and training. For me, like, say for club photography, for example, even though I'm getting out of that at the moment, like I've done that time in and time out, week after week. So yes, of course, my club photography photos are going to look better than the average Joe who gets their camera out and puts a flash on top, tries to take photos inside of a dark nightclub, because I've done it for fucking years.
Yeah.
But then it's like, it comes back to it, you know, like really trying to help out the people around you. So it's good to see that there is a bit of camaraderie in like the powerlifting, for example. Like if only that same camaraderie would apply to more places. And I personally think that only comes from a place of like each individual spreading that as well. So,
yeah. Well, like there's a saying, if you're the smartest person in a room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah, I'm never that person. So
never be the
well, if you're the strongest person in the room, you're potentially in the wrong room. What I love seeing though, like going back to what you were saying before, Shawnee, about like the toll it can take on your body. What I love to see, it might have been like a month ago. So Ryan, who we were talking about, Ryan Williams, like you said, arguably one of Australia's top powerlifters, known the world around as far as I know too, in various parts of the world. I was watching him train at the gym and he was doing an entire week on like deload and just fixing technique. I was like, dude, what do you mean fixing technique? Like you're literally like almost the top of the game in what you do. Like, what do you mean you have to fix technique? He's like, I've got like tweaks I need to do. I could be better. And it was like, holy shit. Like
that's good.
That's someone that knows the importance of dropping it back. Like he almost like keeps his own ego in check.
Yeah,
he does it in front of everybody. Like I know people that would do that in an empty gym so no one sees them lift 200 kilos less than what they normally do, sort of thing. But in front of everybody, he's there lifting what he would consider subpar or sub-maximal weight.
But he's also 46 years old.
Yeah.
Like he's not young.
Yeah.
And I think you can, especially with someone like Ryan, he doesn't have a coach, right?
Yeah.
He changed himself. So you can get yourself in the bad habits, like anything. If you're half-assing it or just going through the motions, you mightn't be tight through your stomach, or you mightn't have your lats tighten up, and you slowly, and then you might pull the weight and you might go, I don't have to do it anymore. So you get into bad habits. So,
yeah, for sure. I understand that. Sorry. Actually, Courtney, I was going to go back to you as well. Sorry, I'm going to circle all of this back around to the more of the kids sort of situation as well. Sorry, and for you moving forward, Courtney, sorry if this is like right back. This is circling right back around.
No, that's good.
Because I really like that conversation of like, you know, with the kids and family routine and all that sort of stuff. So you said you're married, you got a hubby, so you, hubby, and kid. Like, do you see yourself trying to maintain, you know, peak performance for a certain amount of years personally, or?
Well, I just feel like, I mean, I did tell good old Dialogue I will come back to CrossFit, but I'm just at my peak, I would say, not even at my peak for powerlifting and my pro raw invite and stuff. So like this is like second comp in, and I've already got somewhat of a good total to the pro raw girls.
So modest.
So I'm
a fucking good total.
So I'm not far behind considering I'm 2 comps in. So I want to give it a little bit more to go. I am only 28, sadly, Shaun, your retirement level. I'm just beginning. So
you're 95?
95 kid, yeah.
Nice. Let's not start, Shawnee.
I think that was the year I first started in the gym. It was when she was born.
Very nice.
I would have been 30 13 or 14.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's cool.
Well, while I bring up the situation with your kid as well and trying to maintain it is also because I was going to ask. I didn't get to ask it earlier on when we were talking about what it's like to. Shawnee said, what it was like for him to go from footy and then into powerlifting, for example. And he's had like many injuries with his legs and stuff like that. So you've gone through having a baby. And so how much did you say you worked out before Meadow?
I was still probably training 4 days a week. That was when I did my first novice comp.
Yeah.
Meadow was 7 months when I did my first GPC comp.
Wow.
So I was still training like 4 days a week. I changed my coach originally from pre-Meadow. So I said, while I'm pregnant, there's no point me having a coach because I'm not going to be doing powerlifting or anything like that. So I ditched my coach. And then once I had Meadow, I got another coach and we did a comp. And then I obviously got on to Sarah. Losing my train of thought, sorry.
No, you're right.
So I was always training pretty much the same. I've definitely dropped down my training days now that she's a little bit older and I've started that. Well, I've always had a business even before Meadow, but I've just moved into a bigger location with staff members now. So I'm always working, not always working, but I work hard when I'm at work.
Yeah.
So building a business, being a mom and trying to create the best girl that you possibly can to fit into this world.
Yeah.
And training, it's hard, but I'm juggling it all, and I'm still going to be one of the top gal powerlifters like Sarah Rainbow one day, hopefully.
Very cool.
And my daughter can look up to that to say that her mum is the best. So,
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, she thinks that now, but
Yeah. Like that isn't a far-fetched dream at all.
not at all.
I certainly don't think it is. I think
that's
one
awesome.
of the best things I love about weight training is your success is completely up to you. Like in a team sport, your success relies on 11 other people, footy on the field with you. If one person fucks up, you could lose a game. But if you're looking at weightlifting or anything like that, that it's 100% you. It's all on you. If you don't put the effort in, you're not going to get the results. You've got no one else to blame. If someone lifts heavier than you on the day, it could just be they may have just given that 5% extra each week, and it keeps you accountable.
Or
like
just
that
had
sort
a
of
little
thing.
bit more sleep the night before because their daughter wasn't sick.
Yeah.
Or a little bit more pizza.
Yeah, it's it's funny
Definitely
you say
the
that too. So one of the girls I work with, 2 young kids, constantly shitty sleep for the kids. That would absolutely kill me.
Oh, I mean,
are
you're definitely
running on fumes
lacking.
every day.
I'm very lucky. Like Meadow's definitely been a good sleeper from get-go, I guess, but I think it's just how you make it. Like no matter how tired I am, I'm not really one person to show being angry or tired, even at work. Like I can roll in that door with minimal sleep and be a happy person during the day and not take out my tiredness out on anyone. Yeah. So you just got to, it's all mindset, right? You've just got to make it happen. Even with comp, I think that I was, I don't know, super busy with work, barely trained. There was days that I didn't train at all and half-arced my training. I missed several deadlifts out or whatever. And good old Marky boy says, it's not going to matter anyway. And here Sarah Rainbow's like, make sure you do the workout. Be there.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I get it done anyway. So no matter how tired I am, I'm just going to put in the work anyway and get the best out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, can I actually just add on that as well? Speaking of sleep routine, I think we slightly mentioned it about, what is a good amount of sleep that you think is acceptable for your body to actually optimally work well and heal the muscle. Because I think it's I think Arnold Schwarzenegger, Arnie famously said that he only sleeps 6 hours a night. Is that right?
It was something like that, but I can add on, like Mark Wahlberg has like 4.5 hours. I think he gets to bed at like 11. He posts his workout routine. His daily routine. He goes to bed at like 11 p.m. and wakes up at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Consistently, I'm like, there's no way you're doing everything.
It also depends in your deep sleep as well, and if you're actually having proper rested sleep.
Yeah. He was doing like 2 sessions a day.
It depends on the person.
Is that also on the gear too?
Look, I wasn't going to go down that road. But his work day is different to our work.
Oh yeah, like he can nap half. He can nap here and there, sort of thing.
Yeah. He's got a chef that makes him. You know what I mean? Like totally different. You compare an apples.
He's home gym.
So many people are so different. Like my husband obviously does shift work, and he cannot if he's doing night shift, he won't sleep a whole day, but will be completely normal. Whereas if I didn't have sleep for 24 hours, I don't think I could be standing, nor training, or dealing with a child or anything like that. But, so I feel like I need to have at least 7 or 8 hours to be normal.
Yeah.
But he can have 4 and be totally functioning.
Yeah. Is that, do you think, because he's used to it? Like that's his schedule.
Or his brain's just never fully switched on anyway, much like Shaun's, and they just function at a low level anyway.
Yeah. Shaun's low level functioning. Yeah.
Poor Stuffy. He's a good lad too. Great lad.
She's a low level function. Like I've seen Shaun during his lifts. He starts to drool every now and then.
Always go in the back of my head.
Yeah. But no, that's true. Like I obviously don't have kids, so I know I'm incredibly lucky in that if I have a broken sleep pattern, it's usually my own fault. So I can fix that up. I've never had to adapt to newborns or anything, so I would never try and say or form an opinion on people that do, because that's foolish of me. But I know I'm lucky. When I wake up at 3:56 a.m. and there are some people out there who will fucking laugh at that. Why do you need 4 minutes before 4 o'clock? It's a completely different thing. But 3:56 a.m. my alarm is on. If I know I don't get to bed at a certain time the night before, it's on me. Sort of thing. So I know I have a level of accountability that others might not have the luxury to have, sort of thing. But you got to get it done, especially during split shifts as a PT. If you're going on 8 hours sleep, you can get a nap during the day. Yeah. Which I'm sure Mark Wahlberg does during the day.
I reckon I could sleep 4 hours if I had his job.
Yeah.
Seriously. Hard job. Making movies, making millions, working out. Please. Yeah. Same with The Rock.
Yeah, I was going to say The Rock is the same thing.
Don't get me wrong, he trains hard. Not taking anything back. I'm up at this and I do that. Yeah, you also don't work. You make a movie. Come on. You're not physical labor. You're not.
Yeah. And that routine that he posts could be in a 6-month break from a movie, so he doesn't exactly have to go to a set every day.
Yeah.
Imagine having a 6-month holiday.
I've never seen him squat, ever.
Actually, you know what?
He leg presses.
You're right. Every clip I see.
I've never seen a squat from that man.
He's always bench or bicep curling.
Oh, please.
The show muscles. Yeah, I've never actually seen that.
Yeah. So the point of this is, Rock, if you're listening.
What days do you train legs?
Yeah.
And also put videos of your fucking squats up.
Yeah. I love it how he says he's natty. But let's not go there.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
You know what I don't understand is he's world famous, he gets interviewed. How come no one's asked him that and then reported it? Do they all get told not to ask that question?
Most likely.
Are we all meant to sit here and go, oh, man, he looks natty, that guy?
No. They would have to have a list of questions to not ask.
Yeah.
Their publicist or their manager would go to the reporter beforehand, I would think.
Yeah, but there would have to be some idiot like myself that would go, I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah. It's that defiance, old school bands like not Pearl Jam, Nirvana.
Oh, yeah.
They're I watched a clip recently, it's going off way topic, but whatever.
No,
they have the song Rape Me, and they were performing on MTV. Rage Against the Machine did the same thing. Yeah. So Nirvana's Rape Me, they were told right before they went on, you'd play any song bar Rape Me. So naturally, Kurt Cobain and his lads opened up with Rape Me, and it's the first thing they said. Rage Against the Machine did it with Killing in the Name of Too.
NWA did it with Fuck the Police on one of their concerts. So,
Imagine being in the position where you can just defy any word of advice that people give you, and no fucks given.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I'm there now.
Yeah.
And it's only been the last couple of years I've got to this point where I'm like, that makes sense.
Because we're getting older?
Oh, I think so. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very defiant these days.
Yeah.
And especially for my role, I probably shouldn't be because I tell people what to do. Yeah. If I had to tell me what to do, I'd be in trouble.
It's almost like that level of defiance people appreciate because they know that they're getting 100% unfiltered version of you. And obviously you got to be PC in some areas. Like Courtney can't be cutting hair going, whatever the fuck. Sorry, Donald Trump today. Fuck, you see this thing here? Like, there are some things that you obviously can't do in like maybe a customer service role.
Yeah, she'll tell you, I'm unfortunately the friend that will call you on your shit.
Yeah.
But I expect to be called on my shit too, because I know what my shit is, but I expect to be called on it. So.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good question. I will ask Courtney this off track. As a hairdresser, what's some of the weirdest conversations you've had? I wanted to ask you that because Benny's obviously told some of his stories when he was on a few episodes ago. Are there any you can go that are like, holy shit, that was a very, very weird
I don't think so. I don't think I have. Oh, because I don't take new clients, so I don't really have different sort of stories. But we just mainly talk about like crime and stuff. So not the stories that men would talk about. Like I'm dealing with women, so there's like a lot of women that are pretty like in their shell compared to a guy saying, this chick gave me a blowjob down the street on the weekend. Like we don't talk like that. We have a sense of I don't know.
Yeah, or even what Benny spoke about on the podcast was
Hold on, Shaun was just about to
fucking deep throat
lies. Secret girl code.
What Benny was talking about on the, as in Benny the barber was talking about, was he was talking about that guy who kept snipping his neck.
Stingy fella.
Oh, yeah, fucking. Have you seen that episode yet?
I did. I watched that.
Yeah.
I would have just shaved his head.
He literally.
You're moving your head, mate.
Yeah.
That was with a cutthroat.
Oh,
you fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
But he just wasn't getting any more free haircuts.
Yeah.
Screw him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're lucky. Like Noir does a heap of different services though too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Noir, what services do you offer at the famous Noir?
Well, we're basically known as a hair salon. Obviously, we've got the hair salon at the front. Benny's got the barber in there. But the whole reason why I opened Noir initially, it's meant to be Noir SMP, and that is scalp tattooing. I tattoo bald men for a living.
Nice.
Shawnee himself has had it done.
Listening, Shawnee just showed us the
I'm
lovely
thinning too, not balding.
Yeah, there's a difference, man.
Thinning.
Yeah, brother. Yeah.
So, I tattoo some bald men. Otherwise, my team are just doing hair out the front, so they do all things colour, extensions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does it feel like, Shaun? Like honest question.
It's like a tattoo.
Like a normal tattoo just on your head.
Yeah, what's the tattoo going?
It's nothing like a tattoo. Pain-wise,
I just think it hurt.
Pain-wise, it's probably like a 3 to a 5 max in some areas, whereas a tattoo's definitely hitting high 10.
Nah.
Depending.
My worst tattoo's on my calf. That on my calf was the worst
This
tattoo.
guy's probably not really like into the pain though, because all he was doing was talking the entire time. So his brain cells were elsewhere.
I'd believe it.
Shawnee talking? Fuck.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. So you obviously do the scalps. You do like eyebrows and stuff as well. No
Strictly
eyebrows.
scalp tattooing. It's a different sort of technique, I feel, and layer of skin.
Yeah, fair enough. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, very funny.
Sorry, you go.
No, you already go.
I was going to say like it's becoming more and more popular these days too. I think.
I mean, it definitely went through a phase, like anything, comes in and out.
Yeah.
So being bald, again, there's a lot of young fellas that are bald, but they don't really want to. Most people will say it's a loss of identity when they lose their hair because that's the one thing that helps them with their features. So transplants are actually getting more popular, but tattooing is definitely something that's more of affordable cost with the cost of living nowadays than a transplant.
Transplants look painful. I've seen videos. It looks horrific.
And you are on medication for...
Oh, right. Yeah.
What's the bodybuilder? C-Bus?
C-Bum?
C-Bum. He just got it done.
Chris.
Really?
All of the bodybuilders are
Just
getting
like
it done.
Turkey to get done. So what medication are they on?
I don't really
Medication.
know. I mean, I know it, but what I got told, I mean,
right.
I should probably do more research on this, but it was meant to be a test blocker because obviously having high testosterone and stuff like that is obviously going to cause your hair to fall out. So they're on test blockers to stop that, but there's a certain name for it that I just can't recall. Sorry.
Yeah, right. Which probably wouldn't work with C-Bum because he's a bodybuilder.
But at the end of the day, like a transplant's one of those things that being a young fella that's getting it done is going to continue to bald, especially as a 35-year-old. Like you're going to hit 60 and you're going to completely thin out towards your crown area if it's really just the front pieces that you're getting done.
Yeah.
And there's only so much hair around the sides of your head that you can put on top, So they're going to end up having to shave it all down eventually anyway. It's just whether you're willing to go through the pain and the costs now for you to look good for 10 years, because it only lasts 5 to 10 years.
Wow.
And then go back and get it touched up and then call it quits when you're 50 and get SMP then, or just accept balding.
Yeah.
Wow, that's insane. 5 to 10 years for the transplant.
How much they looking at?
Look, it depends on the clinic, but it can range from 5 to 10 to 20,000 for a transplant, depending on how much balding you do have and how much hair follicles they need to use.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's a lot of money for only a 5 to 10 year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, you know what? We'll be able to talk about it. One of the most interesting things when I'm doing an autopsy around the neck is seeing the hair follicles growing from inside when you do certain like reflections of the skin and stuff like that.
It hits a certain layer of skin.
It is fascinating just to see it from literally the inside out, sort of thing. And I could just imagine, like, I've seen the videos of them almost like digging all the hair follicles in.
So you're obviously saying that you can see it from the dermis layer, right? So that's the second part of the skin.
Yes, yeah.
Because if anything goes on the epidermis, which is the top layer, it sheds within 4 weeks. So you lose anything there.
Yeah, right.
So like tattoos that are done too shallow, transplants, it'll all fall out after a 4-week period. Whereas if it hits the dermis, that's where it stays in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you often hear about people, if the tattooist hasn't put it in enough, like the ink sort of falling out, sort of
and
thing.
that's where we're so different to traditional SMP or traditional tattoos versus SMP is we still go into the dermis layer, but we're the top layer, whereas a tattooist would go to the middle layer. Some, let's just say bad tattooists will hit the bottom layer, and that's where you see it blur out and it all mold together. And that's why it turns blue over time as well, and you only need one session for that, is because you're going deep into the dermis layer.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
You know what does hurt though on that sort of similar topic is tattoo removal.
How's yours going, by the way, Ben?
It's going good, but it's painful as fuck.
I would definitely say it's worse than a tattoo.
Sorry?
There's your tattoo.
You know that one, your name that I had in that?
on your lower back.
Yeah.
My shot.
Yeah. But it's, like looking into the science behind that, it's like,
intense.
bursting all the ink and everything. It's like,
That's insane.
Yeah. So that's my advice to younger people, anyone. Think your tattoos through. Not that I hate them. It's just like I'm doing it for a particular reason. It's very interesting though. But like in the last sort of 5 years, just to see the science behind anything from like tattoo removal, the inking of certain eyebrows and stuff. And it's just interesting to see where all that's going in the name of health and beauty and that sort of stuff too. Interesting to see where it's going to be in another 5-10 years, whether the procedures will be the same, whether the feeling will be the same.
Yeah.
I guess it's like anything, like tattoos probably 30, 40 years ago had their ways, and look at the technology they have now and like the instruments and everything they use. So
30, 40 years ago, you had to be either a hard army bloke or a hard bikie to get a tattoo.
Yeah.
Now we got not so hard people getting big extravagant tattoos.
As a form of art sort of thing, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. Alrighty. With this croaky voice, I will say that is pretty much a wrap to this episode, I think.
Nice. Yeah, very handsome over there.
Thank you.
Rugged.
Thank you for pushing through my croaky voice used to, and also all the listeners out there. Thank you both for coming on the episode as well. It's been a genuine pleasure to have you on. Thank you, Shawnee, for talking our ear off. Thank you, Courtney, for adding in all of your extra advice and slapping him.
This felt like I went for 5 minutes. I'm like, over already?
Yeah, I know.
Kind of like something else I do too.
It's cool. Yeah, exactly. Oh, what, an hour's gone by?
5 minutes. Yeah. You're being a bit generous there, mate.
2 minutes. That includes getting undressed.
If you're not first, you're last.
Ricky Bobby. Very first, you last.
Yeah, awesome. For you two, do you want to plug yourselves anywhere at all? Shawnee, you probably
No.
you don't? No, that's all good.
I think his Instagram is powerlifting stud 69.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, we get the stud part.
No, but I will say a shout out to Nexus Performance in Townsville here, and of course their Gold Coast one as well. So if you guys are interested in powerlifting in Townsville, strongman as well.
One thing I will say about Nexus, it gets a bad rap. Everyone thinks big, strong people, arrogant. everyone thinks that till they get there.
Yeah.
And then you come across like Ryan, who's 6'2", 130 kilos, and he's a teddy bear, and he will give you everyone in there's to help. There's no egos. There's no because I know I train at a few different gyms. Everyone wants to know about it. Everyone's too scared to get involved. Just come down.
Yeah. It's just like one of those things like the remark you'll always hear is, I need to get a bit stronger before I go there. It's like anything, CrossFit, I need to get fitter before I go there. I need to do this before I go there. It's like, no, you go there to
That's
do
a
that.
pet hate right there. You just said, that's what I'm I need to get stronger before I compete. No, you don't.
No. There are so many people there with different demographics and backgrounds and stories about why they got into it, you know what I mean?
Actually, you know Mish.
Yeah, Mish.
So he's got the world record for bench press.
Yes, for his age group or something, right? For age group, weight group, sorry.
Weight and disability. But like I think he benches, he must weigh 2 kilos and he benches like 127. Like he's strong.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Nexus.
Yeah.
Go check him out.
Yeah. And Courtney, yourself, you want to shout out to, obviously we've said Noir, SMP. Happy to put those links down below if you want us to. Yeah. All good.
Thanks, though, for having us on
Ingham Road. What number Ingham Road are you?
That's fine.
It's a big white building.
Yeah. Do you know what Noir is, Shaun?
Black.
I thought it was black and white.
Is it?
Is it black and white?
It's black.
Noir is French for black.
Oh, okay.
I thought
it's
French for yum.
Yeah. Oui.
Ingham Road at the back of the showgrounds. What number are you?
141.
You can slap him.
Yeah.
Big
Anyway,
white building.
links will be down below.
If you like Shaunie's haircut, that's where he goes.
Awesome. Well, if you want to reach us as well, we are at literally every social media platform except for Twitter, because Twitter is fucking shit.
At That BJ Show, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
Exactly.
Email is thatbjshow@gmail.com.
And you can also reach us at thatbjshow.com if you want to see where you can find us on YouTube, on all of the listening platforms as well. And that's pretty much it, apart from obviously Patreon as well. If you do like what we do and you want to support us, you're more than welcome to jump on there. Super cheap. We don't expect anything. But if you want to help give and so that we can continue to grow this to a bigger space, then by all means, we would love your support.
Yeah, we'll give you free wristies.
Yeah.
Ooh,
No,
what about BJ's?
but I was going to say, Shawnee, I was going to say the tip of the week, but I think Shawnee might have unless Courtney has a tip of the week she'd like to share.
No?
Shaun, I ask?
It's never just a tip.
It's never just a tip. Yeah. That's a repeat, I think, actually.
Yeah.
That is a repeat.
Yeah, it's never just
That's from Jara's one when she couldn't have it, when she couldn't get the tip.
Right.
Yeah, come on, mate. You
So
gotta give
technically you've used that one before. Are you re-tipping now? Yeah.
Well, you used the Ricky Bobby one. If you ain't first, you last.
Yeah.
No, I'm blank.
That's all right. Yeah. What number are you getting out of Courtney?
149.
141.
It's French for yum. You remember the yogurt ad?
I remember it. Yeah. Yo play.
Yo, Pappity yum
Yes.
or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not as old as you.
Now we're showing our age. I remember that during primetime television when there were 5
I have no idea.
stations.
Yeah, and you had to get up and change the channel. Maybe that's the reason for obesity. Like, wrong topic, but, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
And more on obesity next time.
Yeah. And on that end, we should end the podcast. So we will see you all in the next episode. And thank you all for listening.
Thanks, guys. See ya. See yous. Mate, did you listen to Benny's episode?
Some of it.
Yeah, where I said I'll never date another hairdresser again because of that reason. I know there's only like 85 to 90% is that y'all are crazy.
Yeah.
But people like Courtney hold the torch up pretty high for quality ones.
Look, 100%, 95% of women are crazy and the other 5% are lying.
Yeah.
Are lying.
Yeah, so they're not crazy. So
and welcome to the show, guys. That quote from Shaun. Yeah, that'll lead us in.
I'm good. Thank you. Cool.
Welcome back to Smooth Sounds with Jay.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was Barry White with. Yeah.
I'm now 124 and I've been heavier.
Right. Yeah. You good? Oh, sorry. Jay just gave me this real sus look like he's just done something.
No, because you said, "Are you good?"
And I was like, "Yeah." He gave me a wink too. I was like,
I'm all good.
Rightio.
What am I missing?
I don't know. Yeah. I had a really good question I was going to ask Shaun, but that's kind of thrown me right off. Oh yeah.